Live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 238. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my man, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how are you?
Man, I'm doing just fine. Episode 238, getting that holiday feeling, get that holiday mood. Brandon, I know I am, man. If your tree ain't, if your Christmas tree or if your Hanukkah candles or whatever, you know what I'm saying, Kwanzaa, you know what I'm saying, stuff, celebratory stuff is not up right now, then you probably aren't celebrating a holiday this year. So, like, no, man, I'm definitely in a great holiday mood, Brandon. And I know from week to week, from last week, we even had even more, you know what I'm saying, news and stuff, and big games that kind of went down, man. But, like, you know, rather than me ramble on and on, man, please give us the official rundown for tonight.
Absolutely. We've got our usuals, the NFL talk this evening. We will not have our college football tomorrow. We're going to save college football for tomorrow. Me, Jonathan, and Tanner will have our college football show tomorrow with our picks for the bowl games for week one. But tonight we've got NFL talk. We've got college hoops, a little bit of NBA talk going on. Our Indiana Pacers are playing against the defending champions tonight downtown at Bankers Life, the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry and company, they're in town. And we've got, I guess we can have a couple news and notes with college football. We'll talk the Bulls tomorrow. A couple notes in college football, but then we'll take your calls and more. Looking at about an hour and 15-minute show this evening, so not too bad. John, let me give you the good news to start the show.
Okay.
The Colts didn't lose.
Stop it.
Right?
That's not the good news. We all knew the Colts. Dude, we knew last week, man, the Colts wasn't playing this week, man. So that is good news from an NFL standpoint. If you're a Colts fan, as I know a lot of folks that kind of listen to Crossroads Sports are. But like going into this weekend, looking at their next opponent, you can't. I mean, I know there's like Jim Irsay's playing these dudes to be optimistic, Brandon. At this point, you know, they're looking at, even if they went on some type of miracle run. I get it, Tennessee is losing games, and they look like shelling themselves. And Jacksonville's doing something. They're doing crazy things like winning right now too. But so like the division, it's kind of in a flux. But I don't think the Colts have enough. And if you do have enough to win a division, like you don't have enough to win a playoff series or a group to the Super Bowl, man. So, but there's a lot of optimism with this team going into this Saturday's game against the Vikings. I don't know, Brandon. I think the defense will obviously play well. They'll get, you know what I'm saying, they're get a crack at Kirk Cousins as much as, you know what I'm saying, as any other team has. But ultimately, I almost kind of think the Minnesota Vikings, hell, you've had them in your top 5 last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Well, out the last 4. And again, they kind of fluctuated, but it's one thing they haven't fluctuated. Their offense hasn't fluctuated. So I don't know, man. I don't really think the Colts have enough. You know, so you're talking about a playoff team who's ascending and trying to, you know, say, keep up with everybody else. And you're talking about a team that's still trying to figure out who it is and who's going to be his coach and whatnot. So I would say the Minnesota Vikings, you know what I'm saying, are going to come out victorious this weekend. So.
Okay. That game will be on Saturday. Me and John will be live tweeting the game from notes that we see, because we'll be downtown for the Indy Classic, Ball State and Illinois State, and then Purdue and Davidson down at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So the Colts game's at 1, and then the first game is right after 1 o'clock starts, about 2 o'clock or so. So we'll be in attendance. John, I'm sure we'll be talking during that Colts game, seeing Twitter, and I'll have the game fired up on the laptop. So we'll see what happens. They go up there to Minnesota. And the fact that they want to play to win, you know, that's going to piss off your fan base a hell of a lot more. You might as well just suck it the rest of the way and just get that draft pick.
Man,
makes no sense.
Well, I'm not. No, man, we're from fan base, but yeah, the fans don't want. They don't want. You know what I'm saying? If you can potentially get a top quarterback in this league in this upcoming draft, whoever that might be, when you draft, that's when everybody kind of knows what the Colts need. It's not necessarily. Here's Brandon. I know I give a little spoiler. There's some sexy left tackles in the first round that people are going to, once every kind of shakes out, they're going to associate the coach name with them. You know what I'm saying? Because Brandon, I don't know. Let's go a little deeper. Matt Ryan ain't going away.
Nope.
Matt Ryan would be doing the coach a favor if he retired. If he retired today, tomorrow, next year, he'd be doing the coach a favor. And if it's still a business and there's like a sum of X, Y, Z, between $17 million and $20 million that he can get accrued, next year if he's on a coach roster. So I don't know, man. It's not a quick fix, stuff your fingers. Even if you do get a draft pick that's high or whatever. But, it's not – that's my point. It's not a quick fix because, this is still going to be somewhat of a murky mess going into next year.
Yep. Looking at last week's games, John, Thursday night. Hey, Baker, you want to come in and play tomorrow? Baker Mayfield signs a contract. We'll just lead him to a game-winning drive, 90-some yards in a minute and 40. No timeouts. Rams win 17-16 over the Raiders with Baker Mayfield.
I gotta ask you, Brandon, because I know you like to kind of dissect quarterback play, and I to my knowledge, man, I've never seen anybody go from how many organizations was Baker Mayfield playing this year? 2 organizations get off the street and then roll out and kind of Again, it wasn't necessarily like John Elway, but man, he won a football game for the Los Angeles Rams, and they don't have no type of quarterback controversy or anything like that, but. You gotta like the system and what the Rams can do with a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? So do they have in the future a number for Baker Mayfield? I say maybe. Brent, could you imagine having Baker Mayfield and Stafford?
I'm not even sure Stafford will be back.
Right. So and they don't. And everybody knows they don't have any draft picks. Baker Mayfield wants to play for the Rams because he feels it's a redemption tour. I like the coach. I think the coach is about to be the new family tree. We already see what's going on. They've already started pulling some of his people from. No, they've already the coach from Miami. He was part of the family tree of the Rams, man. So I tweeted this, man, and I tweeted it just, man, because everybody knows that Zach Wilson ain't gonna never probably start another game for the Jets ever again. I'll tell you what, Brandon. I know you're super critical on him, and rightfully so, man. Because a lot of stuff has kind of popped up. Red flags. What red flags first, right? But man, Brandon, if you a question mark quarterback, their system took Jared Goff to a Super Bowl.
Right.
We got to deep dive into that system. And look now. And now Baker Mayfield's out there making. He messed around having a career resurgence out there. Possible.
Yeah, he could. He could end up being a starter out there, especially with you don't know Matt Stafford's health. Will he be okay and cleared to play next year? Does he want to play next year? Because he got destroyed this year with the concussions over and over. He might not be able to play because of concussions. So you got Baker on a cheap contract, which means you can go and put in for other pieces that you need to spend money on.
They have no draft picks.
Yeah, Super Bowl champs, 4-9 this year. So it's been rough. But yeah, the system's good. I mean, Goff's good in Detroit right now. We'll talk about that here shortly. But I mean, he's excelling this year in Detroit. If he would have stayed there, would he have been all right? I think so. I think when they won the Super Bowl, I don't know.
I think McVay. Right. That's what we're talking about. I think Todd McVay feels like if he has somebody with talent, he can get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm not saying Baker Mayfield's going to the Super Bowl, but hell, there's no way anybody could have told you Jared Goff was going to the Super Bowl, and then 2 years later they traded him to. They went to the Super Bowl, and then 2 years later they traded him to Detroit because McVay doesn't trust him no more.
Right. That's right. Look at the Raiders on the other end, John. Oh my, just. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Hot mess central. Ain't it? It's hot mess central. From the coach, who probably needs to be an offensive coordinator at this point, it's kind of the writing's on the wall for that. Like, dude, you can't – it didn't work out in Denver. You came back with your tail tucked between your legs. But dude, it's not the same to go back home to Bill Belichick. Maybe it is, man. Who knows what that looks like? Working with Bill Belichick every day, waiting for him to retire. But it hasn't worked out with him. I'm glad he didn't tell the coach he didn't want to come here. But it's a hot mess out there in LA, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, with LA, with Las Vegas.
Yeah, it definitely is. Jets and Bills. Bills win 20-12. Jets hung in there more than I thought they would in this game with Mike White. And it looks like Zach Wilson is getting elevated to now at least being dressed for the game for this next week with an injured Mike White out there. But Bills win 20-12. They're winning, but it's not like a blowout or like a guaranteed hey, this team, they're coming out here to whoop ass and win, which I mean, I guess it's the NFL. You got professionals. That's not what happens. But I mean, there's a couple teams we're going to talk about. They came out there and did that this weekend. And as long as that Bills defense can stay healthy, get healthy for the playoffs, and Josh Allen can stay upright and not take chances, they'll be all right.
Right. They just trying to get right. Because they're still praying for a running game to show up. Right. We're going into week. What is this? Right. They you know what I'm saying? I think their lead rusher is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, man. So, I think they just want to Brand. I think they just want to get to the playoffs. They know there's a lot of pressure on winning these games and seeding. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they're kind of sweating it out about. If they got to go play in, Kansas City. That matters. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of that, but they really want to go to the playoffs because I think it still looks, I mean, in moments, Brandon, as far as the AFC is concerned, when I think about what they can do, even with the lack of a rushing attack, it still kind of look like the best team. More bounce, man, Patrick Mahomes has to do a lot. He has to do a lot. The Miami Dolphins, I know a lot of folks are listening to us, Brandon, down there in Miami because, our sponsors down there, Mavericks Custom Motorsports. But listen, Brandon, listen. When Miami beat all those teams, I'm not trying to, say anybody's subject, man. Go back and see who they beat. Who they beat. Now, it's the NFL, you just said it, Brandon. I'm taking that out of your mouth. Who did they beat? The Bears? Who did they beat? Did they beat the Steelers? And I ain't trying to be disrespectful, man. They got a little bit more firepower.
Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Steelers, Lions, Bears, Browns, Texans.
Okay. So some of those teams, I get it, man, but they still a little shaky.
Here's a telling note for you, John. 5-1 at home, 3-4 on the road.
Right. So they want to definitely get home field advantage, at least, man. So man, I think it's in their wheelhouse. You know what I mean? But hey,
I don't think they win a game in December.
Wow.
They lost the first two, San Fran and Chargers.
Right.
They play at Buffalo Saturday night, and where it's going to be 6 inches of snow and 20 degrees.
Hold on, I thought we talking about Buffalo. Who's playing at Buffalo?
Miami.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then they play the Packers.
Some teams, but there was some scrub teams, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they were. That's all I'm saying. They were some scrub teams, man. So but hey, listen. I know about this is podcast radio. I have a coach shirt on right now. The coach would beg to play four scrub teams right now. You know what I'm saying? To get a victory out of four scrub teams, man. But no, man, you can't. I can't necessarily this necessary level of Miami to beat. Oh yeah, they can go in and beat Joe Burrow in Cleveland. I'm sorry, in Cincinnati. Or again, I think when it all comes down to it, Brandon. Of course, man, Kansas City is still scary. Of course, I would be a liar if I didn't tell you I still think Joe Burrow and them somehow way get to the Super Bowl. But the Bills feel like that last year was probably their year, Brandon. They got it. So, they ain't okay, they can get up. They feel like they probably can get over the hurdle of beating Kansas City. They ain't never met nothing like Joe Burrow. And I'm just saying, what does that mean if you got to go there to play them? You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting, man. It's a mind game. They're gonna play their schedule, and hope for the best and hope that they end up with a 1 or 2 seed.
Can I ask you about the other fraud team? The Eagles.
Damn. Who are you calling fraud?
The Giants.
Stop it. What? Brandon.
They've lost 4 out of 6, and one of those out of the 6 is a tie.
Oh, you talking about the Giants?
Yeah.
The
Giants.
Eagles are the Eagles ain't fraud.
No,
Giants.
Giants.
The Eagles are fraud.
Giants. Let me give you their wins. Tennessee.
Give me their wins, man.
Tennessee, and they haven't been playing well. Carolina, back when Baker was quarterback. The Bears, the Packers, a Baltimore team, the Jaguars, and Texans. They've lost 3 of their last 4.
They've been right. That's a little favorable schedule right there, ain't it, man?
Yeah. The finish their schedule is at Washington, Commanders.
Okay.
Sunday night football. Then they've got at Minnesota, home against the Colts, at Philadelphia. And they just got drummed by 26 to Philly at home.
Right. Well, you saying they're playing the Colts?
Colts are winning that one.
Believe?
New Year's Day, Colts are winning.
Give me a 1 in the Facebook Live or a high five if you think Jeff Saturday is the answer for this Colts team. Has the offensive line played better? Sure it has. The offensive line don't score points, Jeff. Quarterbacks and running backs do, man. They coach, man. Brad, I don't want to go on a coach tangent because they don't matter. They're not in the playoff information. They're going to be cannon fodder to one of these teams. Somebody try to get, navigate their way to the playoffs. I don't know, man. Brandon, my top 3 teams still in the AFC are Kansas City, and no apparent order, ladies and gentlemen. Kansas City, Cincinnati,
and Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I'm glad you brought up Cincinnati. They've won 7 of the last 8 games. They are on a trajectory, just like last year's performance, getting hot towards the second half of the season into the playoffs. They've won 7 of their last 8. They haven't lost since they lost on Halloween to the Browns, but before that it was October 9th against the Ravens, a 2-point loss. So they've won 7 of 8, and they play at Tampa, who looks dead themselves.
Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not about the man crush. Maybe that's the passing of the torch match. Remember, Brandon? Remember when The Rock wrestled? Remember when The Rock wrestled Hulk Hogan? It was the passing of the torch match. That's what's going to happen in this Tom Brady versus Joe Burrow. It's going to be the passing of the torch. I just don't want. Listen, I'm a longtime Colts supporter. Everybody knows this before I took over. Before Brady actually come on to Crossroads Sports, and we became official and all this. You know what I mean, right? I don't root for no teams no more, right? But Tom Brady, I was just hoping that he wouldn't get hurt. It's horrible. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a terrible team, and they're going to actually host a freaking playoff game. And I guess some people might be able to deal with the jitters of the legend of Tom Brady. And this is going to be his last game in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform and all that. It's going to look like that for his offseason. But we'll talk about that, as the weeks go by, man. But they like a hot mess. Tampa Bay looks like a hot mess. And honestly, Brady couldn't have to a better quarterback. Tom Brady. That's the old Colts fan of me saying that, though, Brady. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I let it slip out, man. But man.
Give some love to the Bengals now. Give some love to the Bengals and
listen. It's gonna be a passing of the torch, man. He's gonna pass him the coolest. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the mantle, man. I'm not saying the Bengals. I mean, I know Mike Kelly, who's probably listening right now.
He is.
He's probably losing his mind. He's saying, hey man, Berthold said this. I said the Bengals got again, man. I'm saying the Buffalo Bills is fragile as Humpty Dumpty when he fell off the wall, right? They are just as talented as anybody. They can put up 50. You want them to put up 45 against Kansas City, they'll do that. They got enough offense to do so, even though they ain't got a shit-ass running back. You know what I mean? They missed out on the McCaffrey. Naheem Hines is there, and then they I don't know who promised Naheem Hines is going to be you know what I'm saying, switchblade. Like he's supposed to be, you know what I mean, superstar this year, and it didn't happen. And they still wait for it to happen in Buffalo too. Anyway, Brandon, this is what I'm saying. There's 3 teams that can win. I'm saying, don't be surprised if the Bengals is win the AFC. It'll be a lot of disappointing people in Kansas City. Definitely another heart broken in Buffalo, but don't be surprised if the Bengals win the AFC. Cincinnati, it's not just. Brandon, you said it 3 weeks ago. Even when we wasn't dissecting who they were playing, you like, man, my enemy. He said maybe next year. They got receivers. You know what I'm saying? You like the running. You like the defense. You Tua stays 100%, 100. But like, dude, can you trust that team playing in the cold? No, not yet. Not yet. Not, you know what I mean? So can you see them playing air-free football trepidation? You know what I'm saying? No, not yet. So, Brandon, those are my top. Brandon, let's go to the NFC. You don't, because I thought you had said Philadelphia was a fraud. You're not saying Philly was a fraud, right?
No. No, Philly's not a fraud.
Shoulda. So let's think about that, Brandon, real quick. Shoulda, man. I hope Jim Irsay's listening. And if he's not, make sure when you retweet it, you tag him into the tweet. But Jim, you maybe shouldn't have let Eberflus lead. You see what I'm saying?
Sirianni.
The other guy. Well, I was going around the board.
Oh, okay.
Too right. I know. I'm not going by Eberflus's record. Eberflus shows that like he can run an organization, even though they ain't give him no daggone, you know what I'm saying, tools to run. All he got is a quarterback. Everything else is like, man, I would get rid of it. And I think they are. Hell, they started with Roquan Smith, if anybody remembers. But Philadelphia, maybe we shouldn't have let him, you know what I'm saying, specifically Sirianni. We should have kept him in here. Is it unprecedented to like overpay an assistant coach in your knowledge, Brandon?
No.
Like is it like you have like a coach? I mean, I don't know.
If you want him to stay, you think they're the heir apparent.
Man, because like look, we got hot mess. Jeff, I mean, I'm not gonna call Jeff Elliott hot mess, man.
You
Jeff
can.
Elliott,
You just did.
I mean, he just
did. Go ahead.
He got a phone. Brandon, he got a phone call from a crazy billionaire who said, "Hey, man, do you want to be the coach? I can't do the voice. You do the voice better than me, Jim."
Hey, Jeff, do you want to come coach the Indianapolis Colts? We can really use you out here.
Bang, man, bang. Dude, he looks just like Peyton. Can you shake
We're
it
the
up?
fourth winningest franchise in the league since 2000.
Yeah.
All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile of that upper quartile.
Man, we're going to get in trouble.
That's rare air.
Brandon, we're going to get in trouble, man, for making fun of
Jimmy, come on, man. We'll strung out with the guitar.
Oh, my God. We're not going to never get media credentials. The Colts will hate us forever. Anyway, that's going to be it's going to be go to the NFC. Change the subject. I'm sorry, Jim. It was Brandon. It wasn't me.
You turncoat.
I'm backpedaling now. Anyway, I'll just stop, man. Let's go to the NFC. Dude, hey, man, you talk about frauds. I'm not saying the Dallas Cowboys are frauds, man, but they're walking on slippery, wet pavements.
Whoa.
Slippery.
Whoa.
I'm supposed to love it because T.Y. Hilton went there.
That's your boy, T.Y. T.Y. I'm doing the symbol right now. T.Y.
T.Y. Hilton went there for $1.5 million for 4 games. They got that's fair. That's fair. I guess. How many is he gonna catch? Is he gonna catch 3 balls in these 4 games? I'm not doubting why they got him there. They chose him over Odell because Odell's coming off a daggone ACL. I don't know how crazy.
4 catches, 36 yards.
Brandon, Odell Beckham's crazy because there's no way your body can heal. There's no man that can heal that. Even if you had hyperbaric,
he came out today and said that he's planning on signing next year. So he wants to be the centerpiece.
Next year, man. Stop making the memes, y'all. Stop making the memes of Odell coming to San Francisco. Odell coming to he's not coming. The Giants. It's no reunion. None of that. But T.Y. Hilton, I get it, man. But like Dallas, they pull up the numbers on Dallas play Tampa Bay this weekend. The point spread, I don't even think it favors Dallas. If it is, it's not high enough.
Let me take a look while you're.
I don't think it's high. I don't think they're talking about Dallas is gonna go there, and especially at Dallas, what did Dallas do? They almost kicked out of leg against the Texans.
What do you feel like it should be?
I know that nobody watched that game. Dallas should beat Tampa Bay.
No.
Tampa Bay look.
Dallas doesn't play Tampa Bay.
At least by who they play this weekend?
I'm sorry. Tampa Bay plays Cincinnati and Joe Burrow.
Oh, I just tell you that. No, you know what?
Dallas plays Jacksonville.
Right, no, if the playoffs start today,
correct.
They would play Tampa Bay.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Not this weekend. If the playoffs start today, they would play Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Are we ready to trust? Are we trusting Mike McCarthy?
No. I already told you I'm taking the. I already told you I'm taking the Bucks. If they play the Cowboys,
I'm
taking them.
Dak Prescott, slippery when wet.
They looked like hot garbage last week. They got lucky.
Hey, man, it's a lot of pressure playing for Cowboys, man.
Stop
you
it.
know that, right, Brandon?
Stop it.
Tony Romo played on a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure playing for Dallas, man.
He's a legend. Of pressure. He's a legend.
Stop it.
Let me tell you who I believe in.
Go ahead. That's all I want to know.
Obviously, Philly's 12-1, right? They look good. They're looking up there. But
it's just like they play close football. And Michael Parsons asked, man, I hope he's listening. If he ain't, too bad. Michael Parsons hating talking about they don't blow nobody out or whatever. Whatever he says, please stop commenting about it, man. Doesn't matter. If you win by 3, if you win by 33. Right. You saying what are they 12-1? That's crazy. Give me your rest ones, man. You like them. Who else?
I like San Francisco, even with Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy?
I like San Fran. They've won 6 straight.
Brandon, I'm good. You know what? If I'm a general manager, no. If I'm an owner of a team and my general manager, it doesn't matter. Whatever the situation is, how many quarterbacks did they lose to this year in San Francisco?
3.
They're on their third quarterback.
Yep.
So I give props. Who else? Who else I give props to? The New York Jets. They got a Golden Boy quarterback. His heart ain't into it because his heart is on, you know what I'm saying, Bang Bros and MILF.com.
Oh!
Because he's actually living this life. Brandon, he said, I ain't telling. He's actually living that life. He actually lives that life. Who can think about football? You got what's really going on in your life, right? So he's afraid. They won with Del Falco, did they not?
Yep.
They won a game or two this season, man. So there's some teams. If I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, how come we can't win with Sam Ellinger? I'm just calling out Sam Ellinger. How come we can't win with the Carolina Panthers? If they go on, how many games? If they go on like a 3-game, they might win the division. This is crazy. They just jettisoned ex-quarterback after ex. Who's the quarterback? You can't tell me without looking at. No,
Sam Darnold.
Man, look.
I know everything.
I don't know what the heck happened to this coach, or even Denver too. I'm gonna pick on them too. Like you gotta have right. How is the San Francisco 49ers on their third quarterback and everybody's still talking about they going to the daggone Super Bowl or can? You still like them, Brett Purdy? This shit, it was awesome, wasn't it? It was no drop off.
You ready for my fraud list?
Let's go, man. Oh, yeah, give me your. Oh, man, you're going to break some hearts. You're going to break some hearts in Texas? Or you're going to break some hearts in
First team.
I'm sorry, in Los Angeles. Los Angeles. First team fraud. Let's go.
First team on that fraud list. Los Angeles Rams.
You're a fraud. Just stop.
Second team on the fraud list. Arizona Cardinals.
Hey, Dan.
You're a fraud. Just stop.
Third team on the fraud list. Las Vegas Raiders. Fourth team on the fraud list. I hate to do it. Indianapolis Colts. Frauds.
No, you didn't hate to do it. You didn't hate to do it. You wanted to do it.
Last team on the fraud list.
As far as one more. There's one more? Damn.
Miami Dolphins. Frauds. Frauds.
Wow. That's not fraud. They're gonna make the playoffs.
You sure?
You have. Do you? I am. I'm sure about. You respect You respect the San Francisco.
Hold up. Jimmy, I'm going to give you 4 teams. 2 of these 4 have to make it. And there's 1 game separating all of them. 2 of the 4 get in. Your Miami Dolphins, 8-5. New England Patriots, 7-6. Los Angeles Chargers, 7-6. New York Jets, 7-6. 2 of the 4 get in. I think the Chargers and Patriots get in the end. I think Miami collapses. I do.
Chargers and Patriots.
Chargers look great. Patriots kind of look like frauds, but they're figuring it out.
These win games, man. It doesn't matter if the defense wins games or the quarterback wins or the short drawn pass. Like people.
Let me tell you their schedules.
Like, dude,
let me give you schedules of these 4 teams. New England Patriots, final 4 games at the Raiders, home against the Bengals, home against the Dolphins, at Buffalo. I think there's at least 2 wins there. Home at Buffalo and at the Raiders. That's going to be your 2 wins. Let me give you the Dolphins.
I don't know. When you said the Raiders, because you said your expectations, everybody expected the Raiders to be playoff contenders. Everybody expected the Raiders to be, somebody, Super Bowl favorite. But I'm telling you right now, my man, he might not get fired, but I don't think Carr's there. Not next year. This is it.
No, he'll be in Indianapolis.
No, man, don't say that.
To the Dolphins schedule. Dolphins schedule. At Buffalo.
There you go.
Home against the Packers. At New England. And then they face the Jets. So right there's 3 teams in the playoff race that they're going to have 3 of the 4. They're against playoff possible teams. Let me bring up the Jets. Lions, Jags, Seattle, Miami. Okay, it's a little bit tougher. The less I don't think they get in. I just think it's road's a little heavy for them. The Chargers schedule. This is what I love, John. This is what I love. Tennessee, Indianapolis, the Rams, and Broncos. Tell me that's not a beautiful schedule for the Chargers to finish out 11-6.
Man, if they don't finish that out 11-6, man, that coach gets fired for sure. Because it's already speculation heavy that his employment, at least with the Chargers, will be terminated if they don't make a playoff spot. So that is a pretty good when you line it up like that. It's like these are teams and those teams. All those teams that you mentioned on those struggle bus. Yeah, get the Chargers are going to make it for darn sure.
Yeah, and that's why I just think Tua going up in the cold New England, I think there's going to be a struggle there. I really do. And Miami goes up to New England. It's always a struggle for them just as much as when New England goes down to Miami. So that's where I don't think the Dolphins win that game. I don't think they win at Buffalo this Saturday in 6 inches of snow and cold. And that's 2 losses right there. And then you got the Packers. Who knows what you're going to get Aaron Rodgers wise on Christmas Day. And then you got the Jets, who are going to be fighting for their lives in the final game of the season. So I like New England's route better than Miami. And I really love the Chargers route over all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. Over all 3 of them. Okay. Well, I gotta ask you, man, because people know that you do have somewhat of a still fandom for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna say somewhat, but a fandom for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So again, I remember giving the prediction. I said I think they're going to be a 6-7 win team. Do you think I need to, pad my stats or going to go or kind of go backwards? Where do you think they kind of finish up their season?
I think they go 2-2. I think they go 2-2 to finish, which would put them at 7-10.
Okay. Kind of where I had them at.
They've got Carolina this weekend. They've got the Raiders on Christmas Eve at 8:15, and then they're at the Ravens and home against the Browns.
Didn't pick against Bell Run though.
Say what?
So I don't know what his availability is going to be. Didn't Pickett get his bell rung?
Yeah, he had a concussion. Shut him down the rest of the year. Shut him down.
Okay. All right.
You don't. There's 4 games. The rest of the season don't mean shit. I think. I think you shut him down.
And you said you stopped. You said you good on him. You said bring him back, run that back. They're gonna have a decent kick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get one of them linemen. Get you one of them linemen.
Yeah. Yeah. Take him out. Keep him out. Let Mitch play the rest of the season. You don't want a guy coming back from concussion and something happened on people trying to earn contracts with random plays and ends up being a worse injury than what it could have been. I think you take the chance, you take it with them and say, hey, Kenny, we don't mean anything the rest of this year. Sit out. Mitch, you'll play the final 4 games. I think Najee, I think you give him 2 games. Give him Carolina. Give him Vegas. I think you sit him out, Ravens and Browns. Sit him out, the Ravens and Browns. That way you don't get any knee issue. He's been playing injured all season. He's kind of came back a little bit towards the middle here, but I think you have him sit out the last 2 division games. Bring him back for 2, and that'd be it. TJ Watt, I do the same. Carolina and the Raiders, shut it down, get your surgery, get it done and over with. Or you can do it now even. I don't care. But the season's a wrap. I think, we had a shot against the Ravens, but god damn, Mitch throwing 3 interceptions. Oh. I like the fact he's slinging it. He wasn't slinging it at the beginning of the year. So, but if you look at our record, John, of our losses, you look at our losses, 3-point loss, 12-point loss, 4-point loss. They made a 35-point loss to the Bills. They waxed us. But 6-point loss, 7-point loss, 2-point loss. I mean, we're in the games. There's only 2 games we haven't been in. And that was the Eagles and that was the Bills. And you can pretty much figure out right there what those 2 teams, where they're at in the standings. I mean, Cleveland, people are going to say, oh, Cleveland beat you by 12. They did. But if you remember right, in week 3, there was the lateral fumble they ended up scoring a touchdown on to cover the spread, or else that would have only been a 5-point game. So, shut them down. Let's prepare for next year. I know Mike Tomlin ain't going to want to hear that, but I think you do what's smart.
Right.
Hey, what about your boy, man? Kyler Murray, torn ACL. That's why you avoid it, John. That's why you keep picking out so you don't have random shit like that happen.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you like this, man. I don't know where they're going to finish their season at and then how that kind of shakes out for them. Brandon, they're going to have to pick a quarterback at that position, even though they just paid him $200 and whatever million. I know that's like an unpopular opinion, but you telling me they're going to bring in another linebacker or a wideout, and like he's like, dude, I get it, man, Brandon. He's diminutive, man. But he's not necessarily he's injury prone. This is what it is. When has he not been hurt? And now we got an ACL, man. And this is really concerning because it might take away what makes him special in the first place, right? His explosiveness as a runner. I'm not saying he can't throw. We all know he can throw, but he also has the ability to extend plays, which kind of makes up for him being diminutive. And I'm saying diminutive like he's my height, and that's like not big enough to play in the NFL. You know what I mean? So, but he made it work, and he won games at it. But like he gets hurt far too much than he is helping the team, man. They got to address the quarterback situation. They have some guys who are ready to win now. They built a team. If you remember when was the guy who left Texas and went up there, man. And then that was 2 years ago, I know, but they still built a team that they thought on paper they could, with him, that young quarterback. And that's the way that they say you build out your championship, which is with a young quarterback that's on a rookie deal, and then he goes into a team. Y'all go to Super Bowl where you got veterans all over the team, right? So it's not working. Because Kyler Murray keeps on getting hurt. I'm telling you, Brandon, they got to address the quarterback situation in the offseason.
I think Arizona's John. I think they're on the demise. I think they are
Wow.
on the verge of a collapse as an organization. Not only with the injury, but you have a lot of talent on this squad, both sides of the ball, that's not getting it done. When you're only they've won 1 game out of 8 at home.
Hot track.
The coach is going to be gone.
It'd be IU.
Don't. Somebody said, "Oh well, let's bring in Baker Mayfield." Don't you realize that Baker Mayfield transferred from Texas Tech when Cliff Kingsbury was the coach because he couldn't get along with him? Hello, that's why he left and went to Oklahoma. So that's not going to work. Kingsbury will be gone. He'll be fired. I am nervous for this organization, the fan base, because one hypothetical I don't think people are thinking about. Does Kyler Murray look happy out there? Does he look happy? Was it a good offseason? With the contract talks, and then they stuck it to him and embarrassed him by putting the thing about the playbook and quit playing Call of Duty, and he just, when he was out there, he didn't look happy. When I watched Hard Knocks with the Cardinals, he wasn't happy. He got into it with D-Hop. John, there's a very strong possibility that, I know he signed that deal, but he could walk away from it and go straight to baseball.
It's $185 million guaranteed.
And get more of a bigger contract in baseball. Play less injuries hurt on your body.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you got to at least think about it because it's a hypothetical. It could happen.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. Hey, man, do we got to take a ad? Or we got to call either?
No calls. We can definitely take an ad break real quick. Give me 1 second here. We'll get that ad. Oh, come on, Rick. Rick wanted to get his in. Here we go. A couple ad reads. We come back. We'll.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck goose because you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm insurance agent Scott K. Nichols will help make it easy and affordable to help protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Scott K. Nichols in Indianapolis today at 317-243-3509. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Maverick Custom Motorsports, where ideas are created and dreams are born. Specialize in custom motorcycles, boats, slingshots, Jeeps, and trucks, offering pickups, deliveries, and shipping worldwide. Check them out today, MavericksCustomMotorsports.com. They ship worldwide, ship worldwide anywhere. Use the code Crossroads at checkout in the shopping cart and get a special discount, I believe 10% off. Don't quote me on that, but you get a special discount off. Let them know Crossroads Sports sent you. I know they just moved, got a new address. Check them out online, MavericksCustomMotorsports.com, and get all your information. Shop their stock. You have a question, give them a call. Check them out, MavericksCustomMotorsports.com. Let them know Crossroads sent you. Type in the code Crossroads.
Crossroads Sports would like to thank Wiseman Logistics. Their team is dedicated to the successful delivery of your packages. Services, domestic or commercial, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Call 877-744-6212 to set up your delivery. Thanks, Wiseman.
All right, we are back. All right, John, I want to go to the next. I got a little music for the next section we're going to go to. What's that? That music, folks, is of your number one team in the country of college basketball, the Purdue Boilermakers. John, the Purdue Boilermakers, back to number one in the country after being unranked before the season. Boilers, number one team in the country, jumped quickly up through the rankings.
Right. Well, that's because they play an aggressive schedule. They don't necessarily play. So I mean, I know somebody say, well, they beat Hofstra. Yeah, but like you know, what I'm saying Indiana State has played a string of Hofstra, right? In comparison, and shout out to the Sycamores, and they are also having a good season. But right now, man, Purdue's undefeated. Zach Eaton's names and like conversations for Player of the Year. You have to like that if you're the Purdue, you know what I'm saying? If you're the Purdue fan base, Purdue, you know what I'm saying? Coach trainer again put together a collective unit. It's not necessarily about the individual. There's no R.J. Barrett on this team. There's no Zion Williams. There's no necessarily great individual talent that's going to project into the NBA. I'm not saying there's no NBA guys on this team right now. Not right now. There's nobody that next year like going to be jumping off to your screen from this level, from this league to the next level. Not to play for Purdue. They have a lot of great pieces. A lot of great guys from different, all around for Indiana. You know, Miss Indiana All-Star, this Mr. Basketball. Everybody kind of knows his friends. And I guess the coach trainers got him playing as a collective unit. Kind of, because even with that, Brandon, you like, dude, you could be Mr. Basketball, come with an attitude like, hey, man, I'm the man down here. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing like that. And, dude, they play within themselves. They play hard. They got a little bit of the doubt against Nebraska on a call, right? But, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You got to tip your hat to, you know what I'm saying, to basketball guys, man. Purdue's number one again. Their biggest challenge, Brandon, and I know you'll probably expand upon this yourself, man. Their biggest thing going for Purdue is, I know it's terrible, Brandon. What I'm getting ready to say. If Purdue wins the Big Ten championship, some people are going to say, so what? Not me, not you, because we know better. Purdue wins a Big Ten tournament championship, people are going to say, so what? I know it's messed up. People want Purdue to do it in the tournament. Can you navigate through the tournament through the weekends, man? And that's kind of where they're, but them being number one is a great. I'm not trying to take away from that at all, but it's a great feel-good thing. I don't think it's necessarily to be like the commercial again, because like you go crazy because Brandon had dropped some information about you, like how many quad ones they have already, like being undefeated. Like again, they haven't. Hofstra might be their weakest opponent. They haven't played anybody a chump. They go on the road to play. I get it, you know what I'm saying? Nobody said, well, this is the year for Florida State. They went on the road to play Florida State tough. And, you know, they all play Florida State, all play tough. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Purdue's number one team in the world right now, man. They got to, you know what I'm saying, look around the corner, looking at their schedule, man. They got to make sure they don't have any flat moments, man, like they had last year against Rutgers. Or have any flat moments like they had, you know what I'm saying, against other teams. Like, I'm particularly thinking about Iowa. For some odd reason, channeling that right now, man. But like, man, Purdue's number one right now, Brandon. What are your thoughts about them and being number one, and then potentially sustaining this position going into the March Madness?
I like the fact that the Boilers will be the number one team in the country more than a single day after the announcement gets made. Because you got to think it lasted one day, and then Ron Harper hit that half-court shot at Rutgers last year. But honestly, John, I think they get to possibly 13 and 14 and 0 and still the number one team in the country into January before the tough one comes. I got it circled on the calendar Thursday, January 5th. They're at Ohio State. That game is going to be the one where that trip up could be. Ohio State's ranked 23rd right now, but Davidson, New Orleans, Florida A&M, Purdue deserves to have a little bit of easier teams from what they've played beginning of the year, with your Marquette, West Virginias, Gonzagas, and Dukes, and not Florida State, but you know what I mean. And at Nebraska's a tough school. I know IU handled them easily at Bloomington, but Nebraska beat an undefeated Creighton team. But I think that Ohio State game, and then they're home against Penn State and Nebraska, and then I'm actually going to I may be at the Rutgers game. I'm not 100% sure. We're actually going to be there this Saturday, John. Me and you're going to be there Saturday night, 6:15. They play on Davidson down there at Cambridge Fieldhouse. I'm going to be interested to talk to Matt after the game. I want to ask him how and I'm going to tip my question to everybody right now, what I'm going to ask him. My question is going to be, how hard is it to keep the team focused? You get the national number 1 ranking on a Monday. Then the kids are going into finals week. So everybody's focus is on studies. How hard is it to keep the teams focused and that type of energy level going into a game like tonight? So that's going to be my question that I'm going to ask on Saturday night to Matt to see, because it's got to be tough on finals week always. You have to, it's going to be 7 days from when the last time they played. And then they had what, 4 games in 12 days that they played recently. So we'll see what happens there. Like you said, Big Ten title, that'd be nice. Number 1 ranking, that's nice. But you got to get results in the NCAA tournament. That's not a Sweet 16. That's not an Elite 8. Like we said, for this to be a successful season, it has to be at least a Final Four appearance. And I think, and I'm hearing seeing a lot of people talking on Twitter, Matt Painter's gotten this squad this quick. It's one of only 6 teams ever in the history of NCAA to move up this quick into the number 1 team. Matt Painter deserves a championship before he's done, whether it be at Purdue or, God forbid, he goes somewhere else. He deserves an NCAA championship at some point. So,
at some point, this might be their year. Man, think about what the lay of the landscape. I don't want to do too dive into the lay of the landscape because I want to also kind of chime in on Ball State because, like I said, we're going to go through these things this weekend. Man, who's the real team that's the scary team this year, man? Duke is in transition. North Carolina doesn't look like the same North Carolina. They're the number 1 team when the season started. And remember what we saw last year when they powered through the tournament. Gonzaga has had their moments where they don't look so dominant. Man, why not Purdue? Why not Purdue? But again, we can't rush through the Big Ten season and like the rest of this season just yet, man. But like, no, man. Who else? Look at the lane. What Villanova is struggling. UConn is back, but it's not UConn like it was when Ray Allen was there or whatnot, man. So like, no, man. Virginia, okay, they don't look scary. Arizona, they look good. They don't necessarily look scary.
Arkansas's 9-1. Musselman's got his team going.
Arkansas,
in the SEC.
Arkansas, Alabama. Houston's real athletic.
Their strength of schedule sucked, though. I mean, they're 91st right now in strength of schedule. So, but they look good. But
right. So, but like, no, man. Brandon also said, like I said, we're going to see Purdue this weekend. They're playing Davidson. Ball State also plays this weekend. And if I get an opportunity, man, I just want to know that, Coach Mike Lewis, what has been, maybe not necessarily a transition. He's been in a lot of places. Mike Lewis has had, faces in Butler, assistant at Nebraska. So, basketball is not like coming back home, though, being that name now and then, like, dude, what has it? That might be too much of a question. I'm going to ask you more so about the game, but like, how is it, how you been, again, man, this is the first time head coach, though, right? How has it been, what had amassed to put out there? I think Ball State's going to win this weekend. I really do. And they've been winning, they've been in a lot of games. They've been close to a lot of games. Like, the only real game that got out of their reach was the Indiana State game, right? But they just put Evansville on the map this weekend because at one point I think they were were they up like 30 or something, man? I was getting chirped by your friends, man, because they follow Evansville basketball and they even know Coach Radlin was the head coach of the Evansville basketball Aces, man. That used to be a daggone. Ball State basketball versus Evansville and versus Butler and versus some of the areas with IUPUI. That used to be a big deal. Those used to be big deal games before everybody started pulling away and trying to get pieces of. When Butler leveled up, and went to 2 back-to-back to 4 Final Fours. Well, guess what? We ain't got to play in the United States no more. You know what I'm saying? We're not playing. You know what I'm saying? Having tough. Athletes in action anymore. Butler actually plays, Big East competition. But right now, man, so like Ball State, You know what I'm saying? Mike Williams is back. You know what I'm saying? He's not. I'm not gonna say he's a legend or anything like that, man. But like, dude, this is really like his thumbprint team, man. And he's got some quality kids playing. I don't necessarily think he's got some guys that made all match, right? He's got them to commit to a team, and they beat some quality mid. They beat and played some quality mid majors. Like themselves, unfortunately, they took a loss to Vermont, but you know, they got wins against, I do believe, like Duquesne. They got a loss against San Diego State. But look who he's got them playing, Brandon. Like, he's got them playing a diversified, like, he's getting them ready, set up for tournament play. And I know, Brandon, I don't think necessarily this ball play team will really jump into the NCAA tournament. They got to navigate the MAC tournament when it comes up. Like, man, he got Ball State playing a variety of, you know, this teams like them. I think he's really kind of setting the team up for a potential, like, spoiler for the MAC where, hey, you know what I'm saying, Ball State, you know what I'm saying, is playing spoiler. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not necessarily favorite, but playing spoiler. Watch out for this. Because everybody knows if you win the MAC tournament, there's an automatic bid. Whether you're, you know what I'm saying, 6-12 or 12-6. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of eager to see it. I've watched it, you know what I'm saying? They you know, Ball State has a YouTube. You can kind of, you know what I'm saying, watch the progressions of the team and their games through the play or whatever, but like actually seeing it, been live in the cover, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of want to see, I kind of just want to ask him, like, afterwards, like, man, hey, like, first time out, man, like, now, like, this is, I mean, it's not, I think this is, playing in Indianapolis is a big deal if you're a local school. So I would imagine there's a lot of pressure.
You better work on this question. You can't be stumbling over your questions with the rest of the media there.
Here's your problem, Brandon. You already told Crossroads America your question. So somebody, unfortunately, man, you know what I'm saying, might steal it.
That's all right. That's why always good media people always have a second backup one. I'll get one. Good media, man. You better hope Danny Bridges and your homie Jay Graves ain't listening, man. They might steal your stuff, man. Hey, they can't. They can't. Anyway. Hey, how about shout out to real quick IUPUI beating Spalding by 22. And I'm not talking about the basketball
they needed
company.
To win. Right, the school. They needed to win desperately. They got it. There's another home game. They play this weekend. But they will be everywhere this weekend. If I try to make it to that home game at IUPUI and this weekend's game, dude, I'll be a spit soldier. So. But no, man, IUPUI trying to, you know, Coach Crenshaw, who's been on our show before, man, he's trying to get you know, to IUPUI an identity, you know, get them back to the winning way. Everybody knows last year they barely won. Did they win a game, Brandon? Were they like won and forever? They made national news, and when they won a game, when they won one game this year. So any progression for them this year is progression. So I think right now they're sitting at at 3 wins. Right now, or something like that. So right now, man, they got a dub. It feels good all the time.
Indiana Hoosiers, 8-2, 14th in the poll. Just lost to Arizona. Arizona's a really good team. They're lankier, bigger, and you kind of see that's a good measuring tool for Indiana to see kind of where they're at now compared to where they want to be. How they did against Arizona. They've got a big one this weekend up against Kansas, at Kansas.
Yeah, that's a big one, too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm shocked Brandon didn't call them a fraud.
No.
Indiana. I'm surprised he didn't call them a fraud, man. But, like, Indiana, again, man, Brandon, I see them being competitive. I don't see them Big Ten championship winning. Sorry,
somebody else does.
I don't want to fight you along. Who?
The guy that doesn't have a radio show anymore.
Well, they're not talking about. He's not accepting phone calls or whatever. What's the official announcement? I don't know. What's the official announcement? That's crazy, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Hey, I mean, he's got viewers apparently. I mean, I counted on his show from all his outlets. I think he had 600 people. So, I mean. Might want to pick up a job. Might want to go Ubering a little bit more. Or DoorDashing, whatever that is, right?
Man, Brandon, when we see, hopefully he's there this weekend.
Oh, he won't show his face there. I thought I got blocked, John. Did you see my interaction yesterday?
There's no way you got. Brandon, how could you get blocked and I've never got blocked?
I mean, I was saying something and somebody else said something. He's like, well, I can't say anything because he's blocked me and I can't add him. Can somebody add him for me? So I said, don't worry about it. I'll do it for you. And yeah, he knows. He knows.
Blocker boy.
Yeah.
Man, we're running to man. I got nothing but love for Dan Dockage.
Oh, nothing but love. I love that.
You foolish men hide behind a fake name forever. Just you're a fraud. Just stop.
I just hate we're not gonna be able to get the sound bites anymore that I need. Talking about you, hide behind a fake name. Speaking of hiding behind a fake name, well, not a fake name, but maybe a fake diet. Who thought he was a vegan? Apparently, he's not a vegan. D-Cop, what's going on? I saw you at Il Emporium eating some wings.
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Hey, man.
Okay. I didn't hear the recording say I'm muted. It usually says I'm muted or something. That didn't happen this time. Yeah, just FYI. Hey, man, you saw you saw me at Il Emporium. I was probably having a Bible study or something, man. No, just kidding. Teasing, man. Hey, there's a lot of directions to go, but I want to talk college. We're definitely going to hit college football, but I want to college basketball. And I know that the people here in Indiana love our Hoosiers. I love them too. But, man, you talking about some good basketball being played over the last few weeks. Did you all take a look at that Houston-Bama game? Or the Oregon, Carolina game. You talking about some length and some NBA players on that floor. Man, Kelvin Sampson has those boys in Houston playing well, but I still wouldn't take him over Mike because he still doesn't have the character that we need in Hoosier land. So what do you guys think about how the season began? Brandon, I know you're in love with it. You made it clear your excitement about the #1 team in the country. And that's all wonderful. But what I want to know what you all think is on the overall landscape of college basketball right now. And as you had said, Jonathan, Indiana is taking a step to measure themselves. You're talking about Carolina, Kansas, Arizona. Those guys are playing anybody, anywhere, and I love it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Everybody, even them, they gotta if we couldn't talk about that, Purdue is in a different, bit of a conversation. We're talking about Purdue.
Well, no, we're not talking. I'm just saying from an Indiana perspective, from where they've been over the last, say, 5 to 7 years, they weren't playing that type of competition.
Man, listen, man. If the kid ain't hitting, man, they got to find more scoring other than because they can't shoot.
Right. Exactly.
Well, they got to get back from injuries as well. Injuries is hurting them.
He got them he got them defending, so that looks good. That looks good, and they're playing as a team. That looks good, and they're playing scrappy when they get down. That looks good. It's just that, like, man, you know what? Everybody's still fit. Ain't necessarily come, you know what I'm saying? Because this team can't shoot from the outside. They can't. Right. It wasn't so like somebody's gonna be like, hey man, they went 10 for 25 in the. That's the season. That's the season.
Very deceiving. Yeah, very deceiving, man.
So
I'm just saying, I like the perspective.
Top of the Big Ten, they'll challenge for the Big Ten crown for sure. I don't know. Some teams got a little bit better guard play. I think they got a little bit more better depth than some teams. And then you're looking at teams that those are kind of gonna have down years this year. And IU should be able to feast. I mean, it is what it is. That's not bad words. I'm saying that IU's gonna feast on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So looking like that. I know you said IU and Purdue. I don't want to lament on Purdue, but
well, the reason why I mentioned Purdue is because I know Brandon's been excited about them getting their #1 ranking, and of course they're in the state. So this is an Indiana sports show. We gotta make sure we have some love to our Indiana.
God
schools.
knows the local media doesn't do it. Indiana Hoosiers can be 2-12, and they'll show more coverage of them than Purdue.
But see, that helps them with recruiting here locally. Ultimately, they're gonna have to go get a guy. You heard me? Yeah. And because like right now, they got a real smart, good team. And I'm not saying they're not. They're very capable of going to get it. Jaden Ivey was a guy that turned out to be a short termer.
This team's better than last year's team, John. My opinion.
Well, all I'm saying is if this team had another little sophomore short termer on it, then we'd be kicking them to go. I don't know, man. If Jaden Ivey was on the team, you'd be kicking them to win that championship.
Right. I think they're better without Ivy than what they were with him. There was too much me ball, and with this team, it's just like the old Purdue squad, passing it around.
Right. Let's see what Jay. The play brought down. Let's see what Jay can do with it. Right. I don't know.
Well, it's going to be an interesting college season, man. Listen, we keep counting chips in December, but I'm going to tell you that top 10 is going to get shook up probably week after week because I don't see a great team. Houston has a lot of athleticism, and they got a lot of athleticism. They remind me of that Indiana team that Sampson had here when the kid from North Central was playing for that one year. What's his name? Gosh, dog.
Eric Gordon.
He's in Houston right now. Yeah, Eric Gordon. Yeah, and that team reminds me of that Hoosier team. A lot of tough guys, right? Probably not, but maybe one or two of guys may be in the league, but the rest of them are just tough, hard-nosed guys that play ball hard. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out, man. I look forward to it, man. I've watched probably more college basketball in the first 3 weeks than I probably watched all of last year, just because of the Indiana's back. I like that. Love seeing Alabama play well, but I love seeing a lot of teams that compete this year versus last year. So that's pretty good. So enough of college basketball, man. What are we doing? Talk about our Pacers. I know we're going to get our over that 24.5. But I'm going to tell you this.
I'm about to get the over in this game right now, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I know. I was checking out before I left.
They're up 74 to 51 at halftime.
But listen, this is the NBA, and Golden State's going to make a run.
Oh, they'll make a run. They'll make a run.
Yeah. So listen, I think the Pacers, when I say the Pacers, I'm talking about the team as a whole. I think they're going to hit a wall, man. And I can see a stretch here where we lose a few games in a row. And just kind of, the other night when we lost to New Jersey, they looked bad to me. The other night against who we just played Saturday? Brooklyn Saturday night. And then Miami against Monday. Really lackluster, right?
Yeah, you were there with your brother.
I talked to you guys about, Remember when I was telling you guys about Carlisle, the control freak? If you watch these games, especially if you're there, when that game gets tight, they're looking to the sidelines, man. Well, they were loosey-goosey the first 15 games of the year. They're starting to tighten up. And when the game gets tight, they're looking to the sideline for the play. I don't like it, man. They get stagnant. And also they look like they're doubting themselves. I hope that doesn't carry on, man, because they've had a nice start to the season. I don't want them to do too great because we still got 3 picks in the first round, and we may be able to parlay that into something. Speaking of brother, he keeps telling me that Turner needs to stay, right? With this great start, the guys liking each other, I still say it's a 60-40 move of him leading us to the season, man, regardless. What do you guys think?
I mean, it'd be nice for him to stay. The problem is, I don't think he wants to. And you got to get something out of it.
Yeah, he's saying all the right things now to the media, but to that point, I don't know that his heart is there. But I do know his father stepped down to the floor. He used to be top of the first section. Now he's on the floor. Could that mean that he's willing to stay? I don't know. His dad's always at the games now. He seems like he's more in tune to it than he had been. So maybe that's a little secret sign or something. I don't know.
Maybe he's turned vegan too.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm not. I don't want to get into that right now. We're talking sports. But I'm gonna go down that road. But no, in all seriousness, man, Turner looks happy. He plays happy, but it's still business. And as I said at the beginning of the season, you can't win a championship with him. You can't win without him. And you still got 3 number 1 picks, and you can still do a sign and trade in the summer. I say if you want to let it play out, if the right deal doesn't come, you let it play out, man. You still have options. And I think from a character perspective, I think he's the type of guy that, you know what, I am going to leave, but I'll hang on to a sign and trade, and we can do something.
I would rather do a sign and trade in the offseason. Ride out the season.
That's what I'm saying.
And then, and then re-sign and do a draft day trade. Because you can trade him on draft day with a sign and trade and throw in one of those first round picks.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So we've got some young talent, but we need, you know who we need? We need David West in his third year in the league. That's the type of guy we need, right? Not a guy, David West, in his 11th year. We need a David West in his third year. What I mean by a guy that gives, they don't have the physical toughness of every team they played against that a big, either a big four or a big five, kind of manhandle them a little bit. Isaiah Washington is great, man, at blocking shots. He's very athletic. If Turner leaves, that leaves another spot. Goga is not your answer. And then what you have at center, you don't have anything. So I say they definitely need an upgrade and a mature NBA player who's ready to prove himself.
Hey,
they need yeah.
You know who Jonathan loves, and he sent me a thing about him a couple days ago. And I'm starting to put the pieces together because Jonathan had an infatuation with this player, and then it went away when he got traded, and then now it's coming back, and he's going to be a free agent this year. John's in love with Kyle Kuzma. He wants Kuz.
You know what? I tell you what. He looks pretty damn good here. He looked pretty good here the other night. I'll tell you that. And he's a hell of a lot bigger than he looks on TV.
He said he wants to expand his role. He did say that.
But and he's talking 20 to 25 million a year. That's doable with the cap space we got and the players, right?
You going to pay him that?
Do you already? Well, no, I didn't say I would. I'm just saying that we'll have the option to pay it if we choose to. But do you all realize he's a lot bigger in person? He's closer to 6'10" or so. Have y'all paid attention to that? I don't know if y'all have or not. But these points,
but he can also have some wild nights where it's like, hey man, you better pass, bro, because you're not.
No. Listen. I'm not saying bring him in. I'm just saying I was more impressed with him in person than I have been. That's all. I'm not saying bring the guy. No.
Let me tell you,
he looks a lot more impressive than I thought.
Who I would pay.
He probably want to go back to LA.
This guy's getting paid $20 million a year. He's a free agent after this year. You talk about a David West. Now he's not a David West-esque, but he's young, 29 years old. He can play. Give me a power forward of Jeremy Grant in here. He's 8 years in the league. Yeah. He's 29. Yeah. You can pay that contract to get him. He's a free agent this year from Portland. I want a Jeremy Grant in here. I've wanted him for a couple years.
See, you follow me. You follow. I remember when he was in Detroit, if I remember right. Yeah. And he took care of business against Turner. He's got talking about a pogo stick. Man, he's got that first and second bounce still.
Now he's not the size of David West, but he can kind of fill that role a little bit.
Yeah, but I think you know what I'm saying, man. We just need the team we have is nice. Also, by the way, Duarte may have put himself in a situation where he may be looking in the summer also. And I understand he's under a rookie contract, but I don't know where the room will be unless you take TJ McTryhard minutes. And I don't know if you'll do that.
I think they'll. I don't know. I think they would go Duarte over TJ Tryhard. Unfortunately.
No. I'm saying yes. That's what I'm saying. So if he comes back, somebody's going to have to suffer, and it has to be McTryhard.
Right.
It has to be. So
another guy, Deca, who Jeremy Grant-esque, I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on. He's going to be a free agent too. Is I'd take Christian Wood.
Yeah, from Houston. In Houston. And that's another one. Now you're talking. See, those type of guys. Now, granted, he may not be available because they may lock him up also. But that's the neighborhood of the guys we're talking about. I look forward to it, man. obviously we'll be there taking a look at things, but I'm hoping it works. And I'm gonna tell you one last thing about the NBA. If they don't get Trae Young out of Atlanta and stop effing with Nate McMillan, I mean, I'm telling you, that dude's a little young. They call him a punk. He's nothing but a little punk.
Oh.
And the way he disrespected Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan's one of the most respected humans in the NBA. Not coaches or players, but humans in the NBA. That dude's a respectful dude, man. And for him to do that to him, nah, man. To me, it's either Nate or him has to go. And it'll be Nate because it's easier to get rid of the coach than the player.
John?
Hold on, man. They gonna go over. They gonna patch it up. I'm gonna think positive. They gonna patch it up. They're gonna patch it up.
Man,
Nate McMillan's not gonna win that battle. He's not gonna
man. He lost the locker room, man. Did you see the article? I forget who wrote the article, and they talked about how he lost. The players were saying, "Man, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I mean, the players went against him. And I'm talking about little, Curry-esque little chump. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. But this NBA season is a hell of a lot more exciting than I thought it would be, man. So maybe I'll get more NBA talk. And then last thing on the Final Four, college football, and also the transfer portal, right? I got guys kind of clowning me about Bama losing players. Bama lost like 19 last year, man. And don't sleep on the fact that these coaches are telling these players, you may want to look somewhere else. This isn't all player driven. It benefits the players, yes, it definitely can. But this isn't just player driven. And the receiver not the receiver, was it the linebacker that left Indiana? He was a freshman. I forget his name. Put in the transfer portal. Is he still leaving? Jonathan? I forget his name. He was the freshman. He was a top recruit in the last 15 years that went to Indiana.
Hold on, I lost the conversation. What you say?
The recruit from Indiana, top last 15 years, top recruit, the linebacker, is he still in the portal?
I think he is, man. He's not coming back.
McFadden?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, these guys are negotiating deals, man. Like I told you, NIL is killing it in a good way, I'm saying. Because what's happening, he's gonna go to another Power 5 school, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's Michigan, Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Oregon, or SC. Because I'm telling you, the guy can play, and these guys are out there recruiting, man. They're recruiting, and I tell you, I think that the players have some power, but don't sleep on the coaches saying you need to look elsewhere because you're not playing next year.
D-Kai, you were talking about Deshaun McCullough?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah,
He stayed in the portal.
Yeah, well, you follow what I'm saying? And this is a guy that was going to be a difference maker for that team. And he looked around and said, nah, I'm going to get something else somewhere else. And again, I know a lot of people don't like it, man, but I like it. The rabbit has the gun, and I love the fact that these players can go kind of as they choose. My only downfall of that is all of them don't get the best advice. There's over 2,600 players in the portal right now, and only about 1,100 of them are going to get jobs. And I'll take jobs because that's what it is now.
Let me ask you this, D-Cot. What's your thoughts on Deion?
Oh, man, I'm not mad that he left Jackson State. I'm disappointed because I know how Mississippi is down there, and I know that state and that city needed Deion more than the Colorado Buffaloes do, right? Man, I'm telling you, my family down there was so disappointed. He was bringing money down to Jackson, Mississippi. If you know that area, man, Mississippi's the poorest state in the union and the least educated. And this man came down there and made a difference in 3 years. However, if he could have stayed, he could have left a lasting legacy for generations to come. Because you go to Mississippi, there's a whole lot of 4-lane highways with nothing but trees and brush. They were starting to build up, gas stations, little strip malls, and that type of deal, man, because of his impact. So that's why I'm disappointed, not mad at him, and I have a tie-in because most of my family's in Mississippi. And it bothers me because I know what he was doing from an impact, not to the school, but to the state of Mississippi, man. That's my take on it, man. And it hurt him, man. But I hope him the best. I think he's making a difference in college football. I don't like him being public about telling guys to go to the portal. I don't like that. He could have done that privately. He didn't have to do that publicly.
Right.
He could have done that privately, right? Because you know what happens? Karma's a bitch, man. Karma will come back and bite you in the ass. So you just got to be careful with that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Deshaun McCullough, actually 2 days ago, he did announce he transferred to Oklahoma. So he's playing for the Sooners.
Boom. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So, unfortunately for Indiana, that hurts. But they have an opportunity now. They can go into the portal and do what Michigan State did a few years ago. There's a big donor in Bloomington. I think it was an article.
It's more important for the Indiana University to have a basketball team than it is to have a football team.
Oh, you're 100% right.
I don't know.
No, you're 100% right.
I give a little more hope with Purdue because they want to keep. I think with that hire, they got the guy they want to build with. I think they feel like they can build with him. He's a young guy, you know what I'm saying? But he needs to hit the ground running. And I get the viral campaign, that's very important to the youth right now, but he's got to hit the ground running. But like, man, as far as I am concerned, it's more important that they have a, basketball team than a football team.
Fair enough. I'll leave you with this, right? You remember a couple years ago, Brandon, you kind of laughed at me when I was excited about Mike coming home. He's doing exactly what I said. He's bringing integrity. Guys are going to play hard, no disrespect, and he's also starting to turn the corner. I'm telling you, I know he doesn't have 20 years to coach left, but, man, he has set a platform for whoever comes behind him. If they don't screw it up, Indiana can be back to the Indiana of the early 80s, mid-80s, if they do it right, in my opinion.
Oh, my goodness.
And I know I'm a Hoosier guy, man, but you got to call it like it is, man. I'm not gonna be negatively biased, but hey, he put him in a good spot, man. We got to keep the train rolling.
You're asking me dumb questions, guys. Really dumb questions, Jesus.
We'll see what happens. But I gotta go, y'all. I'm gonna keep on listening. I gotta see a man about a dog, and I'll talk to you guys about being a pescatarian next time.
All right, see you, D-Cot.
Man. All right, bro. Thanks for calling in, man.
Oh. Needs to pump the brakes a little bit there on the Hoosiers basketball team. North Carolina is not the North Carolina who IU thought they were playing. I mean, let's back it down. Yeah, let's back it down. A couple last things I have in college basketball, then we'll hit up a few things college football real quick. John, I don't know if you've heard of Grinnell College. They set a record. NBCAA record, National College Basketball Association, Athletic Association record, 111 three-pointers in a single game. Every shot was a three-pointer. Now, every shot. They won 124-67 over Emmaus Bible College. They shot 40 of 111 from three. This is also the same college that in 2012, a guy named Jack Taylor set the NCAA record with 138 points in a single game, and he's also had 109 points in a game. This Grinnell College, man, their coach has a unique offensive system based on Paul Westhead at Loyola in the 80s, predicated on quick shot, prioritizing the three-pointer, constant full court pressure, and crashing the glass. 111 three-pointers attempted. Oof.
I would imagine that you got to be in real good shape to play for that team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would think so.
There got to be tape on it. We'll look it up. I'm going to find it.
John, I sent you a message and said, is Texas back? Man, Chris Beard arrested domestic assault, suspended by Texas. They were in top 5 in the country.
Man, it went from sugar to crack
shit.
Real fast, man.
It did.
Yeah, it ain't even. I don't know, man. Like a lot of stress comes with these. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about what happened in transgression, but like you read the details of it, and they are kind of a little gruesome, man. So Chris Beard, hey, going through it, man. But yeah, some things are totally get some help. hopefully that person that he, you know what I'm saying, that family member, right, wasn't harmed, anything like that, man. And hopefully, like, you know what I'm saying, this is, you know what I'm saying, this definitely, he can rebound from it. But, like, man, right now, best thing is kind of, you know, get out of the public eye.
Come on, Tyler. Sorry, Tyler Ford just called a foul on Buddy Hield for Steph Curry. Come on, Tyler, friend of the program. Come on, man, that wasn't a foul. Tyler, come on, man. Come on, man. Real quick, NBA, last thing I have NBA. The NBA renamed a bunch of trophies. The MVP award now is the Michael Jordan Trophy. Hakeem Olajuwon Trophy is the Defensive Player of the Year. Wilt Chamberlain's Rookie of the Year. John Havlicek, Sixth Man, and George Mikan, Most Improved. I don't have a problem. Just I think they're all willing and deserving. I just don't want a participation trophy start going out for all these dumb awards. That's my only beef.
Right. I got no problem with it, man. I actually kind of like the design of the Michael Jordan Trophy. The pride that Hakeem Olajuwon, he recorded a little video when he was explaining to everybody about them renaming the Defensive Player of the Year trophy after him, man, dude. And this pride, he said he took in plenty. Dude, it was sincere thing. I'm telling you, everybody go to the Houston Rockets, whatever, their Twitter handle, their Instagram handle, whatever. There's a video that they have right now about, and they show a video package like Olajuwon, and you see why they renamed the reward after him, dude. Brandon, he arguably, man, he might be the greatest defensive basketball player we've ever seen. And that includes Bill Russell, and that I mean, he might be better than him. He might be better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know, but like, this is an honor for those kind of players to get like this, man. I just hope that the next generation of basketball players understands that they win that. Like, that's an incredible honor that you have right there. You know what I'm saying? So, no, man, I love it.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, we got to take another call real quick. Mike Kelly, what's going on?
Not much, fellas. What's going on? I just wanted to say my piece on the trophies. Brandon, I'm with you as far as the goofy little trophies. The only thing that I'll say is I like that they, because of with the way the climate of the NBA is, you know, the evolution of the three-point shot, you know, I think that if they name these players after Olajuwon, after Hondo, after, you know what I mean, Mike, and I think that they're still like, hey, these guys were proficient at these positions, the dream at this position. So hopefully that if they do that, then people, because, man, come on. I mean, the defense aspect of it is gone. I mean, I get that the league is moving in a different direction, but there is such a thing as fundamentals.
That's what I'm trying to say, Mike. If you win Defensive Player of the Year, it ain't just because Miles Turner leads the Pacers in blocks. And I'm not trying to say Miles Turner. You're going to have to be, like, smothered. Like, on your team, you was in deep, you was rebounded. On your team, you was stealing the ball. On your team, you know what I'm saying? You might be the guy that they put on the best player. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the ball game. Whatever, man. And that's, I think I just kind of explained the Hakeem Olajuwon, did I not? You know, and he had to play offense. And he had to play offense, man. So whoever wins that, I'm saying, Mike, Randy, whoever wins this award going further, man, let's go. Hey, dude. Okay, that's who y'all say. Oh, Michael Jordan, MVP. Really? I jokingly said, hey, man, LeBron got to win one of these now. He doesn't, but like you know, it's just a joke. The validating coincidence and that kind of stuff.
Ideally, them naming this, I mean, riddle me this. Them naming the trophies after different people, what's the difference between that than us as fans and you guys in the media comparing to one another? What's the difference?
Right.
I mean, realistically. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You compare these people to different eras. So hell, why don't you put your name on it? You know what I mean? I don't think it's no difference. It's 6 one way, a half a dozen the other. It's no different than these combos.
They're not playing as good as defense as they did in the Olajuwon era. I watch this basketball night after night. I want them. They have to find. I mean, I know we're talking. They got to find a happy medium with that, Mike. They like the NBA and TV people. You see my big pause. They like high scoring because it gives.
You know what? This will mess around and be like Well, when Larry Bird and Magic came, I can remember watching NBA on Sundays, and it was 2 games. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And they were high score. It was high scoring games like crazy, 130, 125. It was goofy crazy then. But I'm gonna tell you, this is my opinion. The reason why the game has done what it's doing now is because the players aren't staying in college. That's it. Because, but I understand why they don't.
Right.
Because if they don't stick around, I mean, I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I say this. It seems like I have this conversation with somebody all the time. There's a reason why you have a LeBron James in the league right now. LeBron has a high basketball. I have said this even when the 3 of us work together. LeBron has a very high basketball IQ. Why?
Right.
What, Mike Kelly? What are you saying? What I'm saying is, when you got guys that aren't, they ain't sticking around long enough they trying to get the bag, as the youngsters say. So they don't care. They want to do just they want to do on the surface. They're not trying to put in the work that LeBron has done. So he has a higher basketball. You're always going to be over other guys because they're not sticking around. But on the caveat, LeBron didn't even go to college. So how do you come up with that? It's just everybody's talented, man.
Mike, the narrative is going to kind of change with him when they start comparing him against the greats, because he's going to be able to throw in the fact that he was able to play and sustain a high level of individual basketball for so long. Where I get it, he doesn't have championships Michael Jordan has. He doesn't have the, maybe playoff wins that, whatever. But he's going to have all the daggone points. He's going to be top 5 assists. And he's going to be a basketball player that's been played 22 years, something crazy, man. So
exactly. If I play 20 years, I'm gonna do a whole lot of shit that somebody that only played 15 didn't do. Hell, I'm playing long.
Well,
that's that matters. Hell.
Well, what's in the hey, Vince Carter stayed around too.
Guys, let me ask you this.
It's not like
and Al Harrington and Jermaine O'Neal. I get it.
Let me ask you this.
But they're not top tier.
So they're naming all these trophies after certain people. They've named the All-Star Game MVP now, the Kobe Bryant one. What's left that they're going to sit there and honor the legacy of LeBron James?
Oh, wow. Shit, the fucking flop award.
Whoa, Mike Kelly. Come on, man.
You can't give LeBron the flop award without
Stop
giving
it.
the
Mike Kelly, they need to. He has changed the game. He has done something that no other players have doing in this league. They have to honor his legacy.
They will. They'll honor him. They'll honor him when he's done, just like the rest of those guys.
He's about to pass your boy in all-time scoring.
I mean, they're giving him his flowers now. Okay, that's the thing. That's the thing now. Everybody I get that you want it, but come on, dude. You can't. Even he has said that himself.
All right.
I'm sorry. I can't. Just let him get.
Maybe we'll agree upon this. Maybe the 3 of us will agree upon this. They're naming all these awards after these people for their legacies. Maybe for LeBron James, they'll name it like the LeBron James Executive of the Year Award that they give it to the GM, right?
I get that. I'm not saying, but here, let me say this. Because I like LeBron as a whole. I like it. It's just that I have to look at the game now. I'm a fan, so I have to be subjective to this, because this isn't what I grew up on. Like them old commercials, this isn't your father's Oldsmobile or whatever they used to say. I look at it, so I pick things I like about his game. But LeBron came into the league. I will say this. They thrust him into something. He's the new Oscar Robertson. His size, he could play a couple of different sports, but he's a passer first. So they wanted him to be like Jordan, and why they skip over Kobe when they compare him, I've never understand that. I don't understand that. Hell, him and Jordan are 2 different positions. Yep. They were called on for 2 different roles.
Because they're athletic as all get up. That's why.
But Kobe wasn't athletic?
Hey, Mike, before, because I do kind of rush short time, I got to ask you what you think about two of your teams. I know that you kind of track them, Boston and the Cincinnati Bengals. Because I talked about the Bengals before you had came on?
So I'll go with the Bengals first because I shot in on the post. I told Brandon, say it with your chest when you said they won 7 games in a row. Say it with your chest. So the thing about the Bengals, I remember we said this early when they didn't work in that when they goofed with offensive line schemes as far as playing them. Mm-hmm. Remember what I was saying, that those games are going to come back to haunt them. The only good thing that I'll say is who they'll get in the first round. You know what I'm saying? They'll get somebody. Because everybody's honestly, dude, in the AFC, I'm with Brandon. Buffalo is, Miami isn't what we thought they were. You know, but I already said once these road games, that's going to tell it all right there. All these next, I said that a couple weeks ago. Mahomes, but he still does that thing that he does is the thing that he does. You can say the same thing when they win, and you can say the same thing when they lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That thing that you do, it's caused you to win games. But then when you lose games, well, it's that thing that you do. But he is doing good, and he doesn't have Cheetah, and he's spreading that baller. I think that's gonna be the thing in the playoffs because that's how you beat him. Ask us, ask Bengals. Right. We know how to beat him. So going forward, I like what they're doing. I just wish they would have won them games, man. I would have felt better at going in.
And early on. Early on.
Yeah.
It might be something. Yeah. It might be something they learn how to master. But you know, if you get to the Super Bowl, you ain't gonna think about them games you lost earlier. You know what I'm saying?
The only good thing I'll say is everybody else is tweaking at the same time they are. So that might be a good thing.
Right.
That, you know what I'm saying? When you having issues and stuff, everybody else is having. We can't name an AFC team that hasn't. They're not trying to figure something out. You know what I mean? Going into this is the business end now.
Right. Well, Mike Kelly, we are short of time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Dude, thanks for calling in. Always, thanks for listening. And always, man, especially during this time, happy holidays. I'm glad I ain't sliding no TVs in nobody's car today. You know what I'm saying? This time around.
That's funny.
I hear you.
Yep.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, I wanted to say one quick thing.
Yep.
Tatum needs to be more aggressive. That's all I'm saying.
Oh wow, more aggressive.
He's the reason why they lost that. He's the reason why they lost Saturday and Monday, and he's the reason why they won the other day. So that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say he needs to go to Lake Show.
Oh shit.
Thanks, Mike. See you, bud.
All right, guys, be easy.
All right, that's our guy, Mike Kelly. Woo. I got him tongue-tied there. I thought he was going to tell me Tatum needs to go to the Lakers. Come on now. John, college football real quick, a 3-pack. Caleb Williams wins Heisman. We kind of predicted that's where it was going to go. Can't say he wouldn't deserve it. So he wins the Heisman. Jeff Brom left Purdue, went to Louisville. Writing was on the wall that it was going to happen. Purdue hired Ryan Walters. Kind of a head-scratcher at first, strong defensive coordinator from Illinois, got him into the top 10 for defensive stats with Bielema's squad there at Illinois. I like the hire. Mm-hmm. Turning Purdue, it's weird going to be turning Purdue into a defensive squad. We'll see how it goes. The press conference went well today. I'm going to give him a chance, see how he does, see what he can turn. It's not a rebuild, but kind of building onto the legacy of what Purdue has done with the cradle quarterback. So we'll see. I'm excited with that. What was your thoughts real quick? Young guy, Purdue getting Ryan Walters.
Yeah, like I told D-Kai earlier, man, I like the move. It's a young guy that they can grow with. That's the biggest part for me, man. Like, guys, recruits will look at him and like, man, they can kind of see themselves and they can relate to him more so than, somebody. Again, Purdue, y'all wasn't getting over anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but they can relate to somebody a little bit, a younger variety and, who's already from Purdue standpoint, man, he's already navigated NIL, understanding, like, man, what it takes to get certain players to come to a team like Purdue, man. So you have to like that. you raise your eyebrow because I think everybody was looking for
a big splash name.
But did you want somebody from a MAC? Did you want another MAC candidate to come over? Did you want somebody from one of the smaller quote unquote division FBS conferences to come over? Like, man, no, man, because they'll be using this as a stepping stone. They won't be here. They'll be, going to another team. So at least with this gentleman, you saying, you give him, you see what you still have left over after the transfer portal and all that kind of shakes out. And like I said, after next year, hopefully they hope they get some guys to turn, and stay. But after that, next year will be rough. But after that, it should be no excuses, man. It should be, this is the guy. This is his team. Let's go.
Yep. And last thing I have, John, sad news from the weekend, and it's confirmed on Monday. Mike Leach, head coach, Mississippi State, former Texas Tech coach, former Washington State coach, a big college football personality, larger than life personality, had some great comments. Tragically passed away at the age of 61 from a heart attack. In a University of Mississippi hospital. Just tough news in college football. I just watched him a couple weeks ago in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, but just very, very, very tough loss for everybody.
Yeah, he's more so, man. Again, man, he's supposed to speak better of the dead when they gone, man. But let's just be honest, man. There's some electric quotes out there about this particular guy, as one of his players who just left because he, coach always questions people's toughness, man, and that's kind of what he's from, that hard-nosed football era. He's that, that yes, things he said, got him in trouble, but went over the line. You dig up, you start digging through some of his files or whatever, but he seemingly always stayed with a job. So I don't know. Sometimes when I see that, man, like I do bigoted people, because that's kind of what came up with his name too, Brandon. And again, I didn't want to forget of it, but like, do bigoted people keep on getting chance after chance after chance? Yeah, they do. But like, man, we talking about, he had a lot of chances at different universities, man, and it kind of worked out for him. So again, man, never speak ill of the dead, man. Like you said, definitely gonna be missed. If not in this regard, man, he's definitely due somebody. I always want a team to lose, man, because he's, kind of look at him as a sports villain. Kind of like a Bill Laimbeer type, as on the sideline, man. But like, no. So in that regard, it won't be the same if we're seeing him not on the sideline next season.
Yep. Only thing I have left, John, join us tomorrow night. Same thing. Facebook Live, StreamYard, also here on Blog Talk. We'll have our College Bowl Week 1 pick show. We couldn't do it tonight. There's no way. Only 15 minutes left of the 2-hour show, and we got 13 games to go through. So tomorrow will be strictly bowl games, our picks. Pick 'em. Join us tomorrow, 7 to 8 o'clock. We'll be doing our pick 'em show. We'll see you guys then. John, I'll let you say you're finished and wrap us, my man.
Hey, man, I had a great weekend hanging out with the White River Wrestling crew. Got to finally meet up with some of the folks that me and Brandon had interviewed this past season. Across the floor, I caught up with the veteran Jack Vaughn. I caught up with Jake Oman, man. And if you are ever in the Indianapolis market area and White River Wrestling is putting on a show, man, do yourself a favor and go in there. It is like really about. It's really like a different feel, man. I don't know. They don't necessarily have cameras around there. They got their own little setups, right? But they don't necessarily have a YouTube channel or anything like that, man. But they do have like an Instagram following. So it's pretty cool. White River Wrestling, man. But like I said, I caught up with, saying the veteran Brandon. He's too famous. Brandon was teasing everybody. Brandon was teasing with the veteran on Twitter about him putting me in a headlock or a body slam or something, man. Like, dude, Brandon, when next time when they come through, you're going, right?
I was available this time. I just never got the call.
I know. I didn't know, dude. I thought you had plans, man. I do. The veteran is too famous. folks, go check out the veteran Jack Barnes on TikTok. This dude's hilarious, man. If you're into wrestling, you know what I'm saying, check him out. But caught up with those guys, man. And then another one of our good wrestling homies, man, that come on to our show, Danny Limelight. He won the United Wrestling Network heavyweight champion. He's, you know what I'm saying, he's a champ, man. Danny Limelight it's a lot of fanfare around that. He's actually his next title defense. Like he beat Jordan Clearwater, right? I know everybody's like, who's Danny Limelight? Danny Limelight came on our show. He's been on AEW, blah 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 blah. He won a heavyweight championship. His first title defense, Brandon, is against Eddie Kingston. I'm gonna try to get. I know the holiday show is next week, Brandon. I'm gonna try to get Danny Limelight to come on to the show next week, man. To chop it up with us real quick, man. Just to let us know, you know what I'm saying, how it is to be world champ, man. You know what I'm saying, what it's gonna be like to face Eddie Kingston. But other than that, man, I want to say thank you to Mike Kelly for calling in. I want to say thank you to D-Cop for calling in. Those are the friends of the program. I want to say thank you to, Good Mavericks Custom Motorsport. Scott Nichols, State Farm Insurance, Wiseman Position, man. How can we do our show without our sponsors, man? Everybody, man. It's the holiday season, man. If you ain't got, like I said, if you ain't got your Christmas tree up right now, man, shame on you, man. Get it up, man. But get that holiday season pumping. Get you some eggnog, get you some hot cocoa, and like, man, you got 11 days more days of Christmas, man. Brandon, we're gonna have the holiday show next week. We got the bowl show tomorrow. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? For either, man, it's going to be a crazy 24 hours, man, doing another show tomorrow, man. So outside of that, man, I have been Jonathan Bursong. That's Brandon Weeks, man. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads